Hey folks, welcome back. Wanted to do a quick little message here. I'm going to try to do a video on some of the future projects, things that I actually have going on. You know, I've done a lot of videos on silver and gold and weapons and preparation, and we're going to continue with all that. But what I wanted to do was I wanted to give you all a little update today and maybe a quick chat. Maybe I'll do a number of messages today and try to get you guys up to date with some stuff that's going on. Yes, those are bins of copper, and that's primarily what I wanted to talk to some of you about. Many of you remember in the beginning, a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, when we started the channel here, we were talking about precious metals and preparing and getting our silver and our gold and getting our protection. And I probably didn't talk too much about getting supplies, food and stuff like that. But we're gonna do a message on food preparation for what is coming in. As I pull up a chair here, folks, bear with me because I'm still trying to work on my communication with you guys, and I'm not very good at doing these kinds of videos and stuff, but I'm really hoping that I can get to the crux of a lot of the things that I'm wanting to share and things that I'm wanting to convey to many of you. So many of you remember that about 3 years ago, I was telling as many of you that would listen to start preparing and getting precious metals, and I actually started talking to many of you about getting copper. Start going through some of your copper nickels and some of your copper pennies and your silver nickels, of wartime nickels, 42 to 45, I think. And as I was giving that revelation, God was giving back to me a measure of understanding about precious metals, because I was faithful, and I was giving a lot of the things that I was getting to you guys, to you folks that would listen, about preparation. So this is the reason why a lot of what is going on, and has been happening since 2007, 2008 for me, with so many confirmations of preparing and getting my house in order and getting prepared for what was about to come. And I shared with many of you that open word of knowledge about God was preparing to judge the currency system as we know it today. And this is December 7th, I think, December 6th, January 7th, I'm sorry, 2026. And many of you know the current events that are going on, the invasion of, or the police action we took against the president of Venezuela, and the things that are going on in Iran. Interesting enough, a 2013 prophecy that came forward from Kim Clement, 2013, he prophesied that the Spanish-speaking people, and then he later, a few minutes later into the prophecy, spoke about Venezuela. And then he said basically simultaneously there will be a liberation or events going on in Iran. And we see what's going on today, the transformation of what's going on in South America, and what is now happening in Iran is being liberated. The president, the corruption and the wickedness in Iran is collapsing now. I think they're getting ready to flee the country. Some say that Khomeini is going to run to Russia, which is indicative to the spirit and the events that are going on in that part of the world. But in alignment with so many prophecies that I was getting, words of knowledge I was getting, Now, interesting enough, most folks don't realize, or do maybe by title and definition, I am in combination somebody that has been preparing and somebody that has been called by many, more importantly by God, but confirmed many of times, half a dozen times in my life, by strangers in foreign people, that God had called me to be a prophet, and calls me a prophet, calls me His mouthpiece, and calls me so many more things than that. But the most importantly, with my fervent effort, trying to prepare the very words and prophecies that God has given me, and the words of knowledge, the open visions that God gives me here with the ministry, not only here on YouTube, but also, on YouTube, we're trying to relay and convey the importance, the significance of what is manifesting today. So, as you see before you, the revelation that I was given to many of you that I was getting about copper, I was buying copper coins and copper 1 pound ingots online, and I started asking the Lord about an evolution to what is, how I can do better, how I can do more. And I started getting understanding and revelations about how to find copper for free, and how to start harvesting copper from electronic components and appliances and things like that. And well, this is the fruit of it. I started asking the Holy Spirit for direction, and we started. If you maybe someday I'll start uploading some of the videos from the last 2 years about me doing different projects, scavenging and finding and getting and being given things that had copper in them, and now we see that all of it is manifesting, and I'm just saving it because I will remind many of you of that word of knowledge that I had about gold being 10 times greater in 10 years in 2019. And everybody laughed at me when gold was $1,500 an ounce. After it rose, it was down as much as $1,000 to $1,100 an ounce. People laughed, and I said, "This is the word of the Lord. I'm telling you, whether you believe me or not. I'm just telling you what God is saying." And so I began to try to collect precious metals as much as I could, and I did a lot of the exchanging, depending on the ratio, and was able to collect a little bit in preparation for what's coming. Now we see silver at 75 an ounce, and my understanding is silver will be well over $250 an ounce. Now that's not a word of the Lord. That is my common sense understanding, deduction from the revelations that God gave me in lieu of a ratio from gold to silver. President Trump came out some time ago and said that gold, he was going to what's the word I'm looking for? Reevaluate gold to 20,000 an ounce. And I believe a great ratio for the cost of silver out of the ground versus the cost of that $20,000 being, the price of gold when it gets revalued. I would say the ratio is going to be somewhere 20 to 1 or so. So if you do the odds, what an ounce of silver will be according to $20,000 gold, that's an indicator of how much silver is going to go. And we see what copper's doing. And this was the word of the Lord about copper. The Lord was telling me to get copper. But now I'm hearing people say that, they're getting understandings about all kinds of metals like tungsten, lithium, all kinds of stuff. And they're being told to get all kinds of stuff. And so these are just 2 bins of many full of copper wire that my scrap yard buys. And so it's incredible what's going on with so many of these metals. Now these are more copper motors, copper parts with brass. There's more copper motors in there. There's copper wire motors and stuff in there. Then I've got a laptop with two a PC with 2 laptops, and just just things that I've been able to collect at yard sales really cheap that have motors in them. I know, I'm going to suspect that there's copper in them, the cast aluminum, different things like these here. These are the griddles. You can buy these at Goodwill for 39 cents on the special days of the week, and you can get them for 39 cents. You take them apart, and this is cast aluminum, and this the cast aluminum, I'm not so much waiting to do the cast aluminum now, but probably in the middle of the year cast aluminum will probably be $2, $3, $4 a pound, and I have a lot of it because I've been scrapping. And so the brass, right there's another bucket of brass, and the things that I have of aluminum, there's parts from a manifold and some other things that have aluminum in them. So I wanted to do this video and just do it for you guys and give you an update, and I'll probably do some breakdowns tonight, and then I'll do another video maybe for you guys next week. Folks, God bless you. I thank you for fellowshipping and just hanging out, and feel free to leave a comment or a message down below. Take care, folks.